The Maestro Madness is about to commence. This is going to be a hell of a matchup, lads, for the final game of the night as we have RAISY taking on vengeurR. What a treat.
What a treat, indeed. I mean, RAISY and vengeurR have both been playing out of their minds. They are incredibly entertaining to watch. And I know RAISY's top rank right now, but, I think we're going to see a pretty close matchup. I'm curious. I'm just kind of watching chat a little bit, and people are like, not RAISY's just going to dominate this one. And we were talking a little bit about the differences between these two players, and that RAISY kind of has this sort of ice cold, super focused. And I think what's so unique and interesting about vengeurR is that I feel like he's always got a smile on his face. He just likes to have fun. So it is that, stone cold, killer play style versus, almost that freestyle, carefree, great play, and how these two are going to, collide. I'm very excited to see.
New Kings of Quake, I think you said in the break, Jackie.
Oh, yeah.
I'll credit you for that.
Thank you, mate. I thought you might steal that one. No, I stick to it. I think that is the truth, right? They were always up and comers, but at this point, it's unfair to call them that. They were the bridesmaid, but never quite the bride. Now they have their own wedding every time we get to see them play. It's got a lot of fanfare to it.
Yes. Yep.
Cheers, what do you say? I mean, I'm just excited to get into this one, right? We're going to see the picks and bans here in just a moment. As you mentioned, because I'm very excited to hear about predictions here. But first, let's go into picks and bans.
So,
oh boy. Oh, here we go. Now Dan wants to talk.
what's the way to host? You just leave it on a dead end. But yeah,
well, no, I was throwing it back to you, mate. You hadn't said out.
Corrupted Keep, vengeur's pick. We have Strog and Pika versus the Galena. He's really good at Strog on that map, and he's one of the few people that's perfected it on there. But Galena it gives you that fortitude to have some resilience against the speed that Strog can bring out. Deep Embrace, Anarchy. That's the first time we've seen that champion on there today. Really interested to see how vengeurR plays that one. We obviously saw the power of Doom on that map earlier today, and it's now banned out, rightly so. And then we're finishing up with Blood Cover, where Clutch got banned. And we have Nyx against Slash. And we said in the past, Nyx can have a lot of trouble against Slash, but at the same time, we've seen vengeurR absolutely wipe the floor up against Slash on that map as well, because he plays her so effectively.
Yeah, I think I'm excited for that third map for sure, and that should be good. And I like what you said about Deep Embrace. We're going to get to watch kind of a different approach to this one. I think we're going to see a much more chaotic game on Deep Embrace than what we saw. But based off of what we see here now, anyone want to come forth with a prediction?
Oh, honestly, based off the way I think things go when these two go head to head, because you've got to throw out the history, right? They play against each other day in, day out. They know each other's play style. This is like a super isolated domestic matchup, and I'm going to give it to vengeurR. I reckon vengeurR wins this 2-1. I think he's going to turn up tonight and give RAISY a run for his money.
Based on what Jackie said, I'm going to say RAISY 2-1.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Dan, on this one. I feel pretty confident. RAISY is definitely is beast mode. I love vengeurR. I would be so happy to be wrong on this one, but I do think RAISY squeaks this one out to 1. But I mean, either way, I mean, we're all winners here because these two players from Maestro are, phenomenal. I love it. The new Kings of Quake, 100%, super entertaining, and I suspect that we will have some close matches.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a hell of a series. You're both in for a treat. And obviously, I mean, really, you two are the actual winners. I've got my predictions wrong. Dan already thinks that I have no idea what's going on with this next one. So I'll leave you to it. I'll let you both get involved with this one. I'll go to the wayside. Have fun with it. It's going to be a banger.
Great.
Nothing's more poetic than Jackie seeing himself out. That's the best prediction move ever.
Could you have predicted that was going to happen, Dan? Is that, yeah?
I had it in my mind. Something like that would happen. Yeah, kind of laid the floor. But I don't think I predicted this one right. If I'm honest, this could go either way. We've seen vengeurR very much on the upturn recently, and we know what RAISY can perform, but it does feel like vengeurR is the person who continually takes a small step forward every single week, and has that critical mind to do so as well, which is key in becoming a champion.
Yeah, I mean, RAISY kind of sitting at the top of the pack on the EU side, and but I mean, both these players finished out so incredibly well at the end of season 1, so it's not any surprise to see them, outperforming many of their colleagues in the EU region. But when two teammates, as you mentioned, they've got a lot of experience playing with one another. That does change things up a little bit. There's a level of adaptability and also kind of like. How much can you change, right? Like these players have adapted to one another. They know each other's styles. But to that point, how do you play a game that might throw a teammate off? Not an easy thing to do because you're asking yourself to kind of get out of your comfort zone in order to get your opponent out of the comfort zone. Is any of them any better at that? I don't know. But anytime we've got a matchup like this, it's always exciting to see how it's going to play out.
I think what's really exciting to me when I look at the way both these players play, and particularly vengeurR, I just think vengeurR has so much room to grow. He's perfected probably the hardest part of the game so far, which is that defensive positional game. If he can take a step further and learn how to really dominate games and take them away from opponents, okay? Similar criticism or observation I made against Chain, that's when he becomes incredibly scary.
Sure. And we are officially live following RAISY off of the bat. And we'll see how these two will go in. Peaker coming out right away. RAISY has no problem taking him down. Kind of stuck here outside of the exit teleporter, using that machine gun to just continuously chip away. And we'll have both our items coming up. Oh, and vengeurR dropping into the light room. Not good at all. Tribal coming out to keep him in that corner. He's going to continue to throw much out as he possibly can. He does pick up that first frag. Unfortunate for vengeurR that he just got stuck back in that corner.
Yeah, the only thing he did well was delay.
Flies right by. He is going to have to give up the heavy for that one. Will he have enough time to make it over to that mega? He's going to go for it. Pins 2 rockets into the corner and a third one. That is crazy. I actually thought he was coming to that room just a little bit too late, but so much confident in his own ability to hit the rockets that he needs to hit. And vengeurR goes down. RAISY with a quick lead here, 1:30 into the game.
Yeah, that was actually the right move to do, and it was just, as you say, perfect reaction rockets from RAISY. And even if vengeurR just did a drive-by and even stopped to say hello, he would have stolen away the mega and got the frag. So eventually went right for RAISY, and he's just going to walk in here slightly too late for the mega. vengeurR gets away, but eats a couple of juicy rockets in return for picking that up. And RAISY's looking relatively comfortable, where it's actually vengeurR playing with quite a high tempo.
I completely agree. I mean, RAISY seems calm, collected, is not having any problems at all. I mean, even as we see him here down to 43 points of health as he drops a totem and now just waits for that opportunity to hit his opponent. LG does come out after a couple defensive rockets. He's down to 21 points of health. There is an opportunity for vengeurR to try to clean this one up, and he knows, he can smell it, he can feel it. But again, some great defensive rockets as RAISY somehow manages to get away, picks up the health he needs, and stays alive to see another fight.
Yeah, but it does feel like a matter of time now. Yes, he's getting the early damage, but vengeurR is the one sweeping up all the resources on the map. He's taking both the lights, he'll take the heavy, and now he'll go get the mega. RAISY's going to have to back out, and there's going to be nothing up for him.
Yeah, nothing. Hurting a little bit, only health, 0 shields right now. vengeurR walking around like a massive tank. And coming around the corner, though, again, those rockets from RAISY have been very, very nice in zoning vengeurR and not allowing him access to certain rooms, certain areas of the map. Even so fighting. Nice. Oh, the LG in the air, holding him up. Unbelievable. Unfortunate jump there for vengeurR. RAISY just waiting for it, and some unbelievable accuracy there as he just holds his opponent up.
And this is one of the things with crouch sliding champions. You can map their pathing because they have to take a very predictable route to maximize their speed. And what he did was track that movement. He knew there was then all the momentum in the world for vengeurR. He's going to have to go across that, make that jump, and he just trapped him.
Yeah, well said. It seemed like exactly what he did there. And RAISY just, feeling very good, very confident here. You could see from his cam as well. I'm not even sure that he has moved or blinked, but it just shows how focused he is in this game as he throws down the second totem and has picked himself up the mega. Is he going to try to force a fight here at the heavy? Well, vengeurR. Oh, he catches him on the bridge. vengeurR might unfortunately have to go back into the light room. He's going to use LG to try to hold back. And RAISY's going to come out with LG of his own. Heavy is up, and I don't think RAISY can go in. No, he's going for it, and he does right through. Out the teleporter. LG to shotgun. 4-0. And even on his last leg, he picks up that Mega to put him back in the fight.
Yeah, and if you're vengeurR right now, you've got to be thinking about what do I do different? Because at the moment, this outright aggression is not working. RAISY is playing relatively passive for what we would see from RAISY normally, and it's actually being the perfect strategy for vengeurR. He does get onto the board, but he did take a lot of damage in doing so. So RAISY will be relatively confident to go out to the mid ground here, but he's absolutely caught in the cold without a lightning gun.
That was risky for RAISY. vengeurR, I think, even surprised, was waiting for the possibility that he's going to jump down to Mega. He did, steals away that light too, but vengeurR, I think, kind of given a frag that I'm not sure that RAISY was quite expecting to give up. 2 frag deficit now for vengeurR as our eyes are on him. Definitely playing with a bit more upbeat pace to this one. And let's see if now with a little bit of control here as he grabs Mega yet again, if he can find a way to kind of push here on RAISY and force him in the battle. Totem goes down. They'll exchange a little bit of fire. And once again, these defensive rockets from RAISY are just phenomenal.
Yeah. But it's just not halting the momentum of vengeurR at the moment. And RAISY's finding a hard time to get on any sort of items. vengeurR nearly doubling the pickups, but he has managed to pick up this heavy. He hasn't got timing on the Mega, as I thought he would have committed to that. Instead, holds out in this light room. He hasn't got a lightning gun, so that's maybe the reason why he didn't go in.
Yeah. And vengeurR now off to the side. Here's where it looks like he's changing it up a little bit, expecting maybe he's going for that light, fires away a rocket, and you could just see how vengeurR trying to mix it up a little bit, trying to change things around, but RAISY doing exactly the same, just having using that third eye quite well. LG battle over on top of Mega. And RAISY is down, going to try to finish it off with Peeker. It cannot happen. vengeurR still on the bottom, not willing to go through that teleporter.
Through. He knows the totem's up there. There's no way he can go through.
No way.
Oh.
That would have been beautiful. 7 minutes now, heading on over to the heavy. vengeurR does pick it up. Those are some nice rockets. Mega is up, and he gets the frag just as RAISY's about to go for it. He does get rid of the totems outside of the teleporter, and now's vengeurR's opportunity.
Yep, he's done a great job to get up a couple of clean frags back to back. Nice shotgun kill to finish just before the pickup. And he's just hunting prey now. This is exactly what he was trying to do from the offset. And that momentum, that pressure has come to fruition.
You know, I'm not even sure. Oh, coming out of the corner, hits a couple of nice rockets of his own. Chasing yet again. Trying to shotgun is not going to happen. Decides to back off, grab that Mega. And this is now vengeurR feeling like, okay, he's playing with a little bit of control, some confidence, but some great rockets from RAISY. They cannot answer to the LG, and now vengeurR in the lead. And, you know, Dan, I'm not even 100% sure what exactly vengeurR did to switch it up a little bit, but whatever he has done, it is certainly working.
Yeah, he just cleaned up the timing a bit and got, all it was essentially one clean frag, and then ever since then, that stack difference meant he could just maintain his position a lot better. Finally, RAISY gets on the board in terms of items. And this is going to be a crucial minute and a half for vengeurR.
Yeah, he is going to be able to pick up the heavy here based off of where RAISY is. And I think RAISY not necessarily, you know, knowing that he's got just kind of like one solid push that he can make here. And is going to try to, from the top levels, drop some rockets down. Mega is up, exchanging some machine gun fire, but neither player willing to commit. And really no reason for vengeurR, right? He can just kind of hold off, try to deny. He is up in the upper level in the red room, and knows that his opponent's just going to be able to grab that Mega, but he's doing plenty of damage. Here we are, the final minute, what is RAISY going to do to break through?
Yeah, plenty of time for the Mega. vengeur's going to hang down here. If he gets this cleanly, it could be game over. Does enough damage, though.
Peeker comes out, taken out, steals away those health bubbles. I mean, I'm actually surprised to see vengeurR staying on the aggression, but it seems to be working out for him. He's going to steal away the heavy, and that is going to be a real bad news for RAISY here. Down by 1. That may have been the item to potentially help him lock the game. He is staying on top of that Mega, drops down and takes out a totem and grabs the Mega as well. 10 seconds remaining. I think it's done.
Yeah, to your point, that aggression was pivotal to secure victory, and it shows someone on the top of their game and the top of their confidence to keep going against someone like RAISY, even though you don't have to. It is the sign of someone really hitting their stride.
You know, this is like, I feel like this could be a game show where we're just like, okay, Dan, we're going to show you the first 5 minutes of a game, and then you make the call. Did the person who is behind win that game? And I think you look at the first 5 minutes of that game and you're like, no, RAISY's he's definitely got this one, no problem. But vengeur's showing, right, why we call him one of the new kings of Quake. Being down by nearly 4 frags against your opponent doesn't feel great. We saw, unfortunately, that LG kill there by RAISY, just beautifully done early on, and sitting on that eternal goose egg does not feel good, but vengeurR mixing it up just a little bit, finding some opportunities to grab a couple frags there, and then ultimately get the lead. And instead of, playing a little bit more defensively after that, he keeps the pressure on RAISY, and it works. So walking out of there with the 5-4 victory, gotta say, a little surprised, but also not surprised. This is, I think, why RAISY is having the success that he is having. Excuse me, vengeurR, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I felt that actually RAISY, as much as we credit him for it in the early game, he could have and should have probably been more active on the items as the game progressed. It felt that, and it's all credit to vengeurR to taking the map away completely. He was often hanging around for light armors instead of pushing out to try and at least do some damage on these major item pickups. And then vengeurR was essentially running freely around the map with a maximum stack for a lot of that game. So it made RAISY's life incredibly difficult. So full credit to vengeurR and the way in which he played, not the major items, but at least the light items on that map.
Yeah. And a tough call to make. I almost feel like RAISY found a comfort. He's like, hey, there's a beanbag here. It's got some really nice pillows. I'm just gonna, I'm comfortable here. But I think you're right. And just looking at some of the item stats, vengeurR, obviously a lot of that driven by the end of the game, but outperforming him in mega pickups and heavy pickups, and then near the end, I think was doing what RAISY should have been doing around that 5-6 minute mark, which was being a little bit more controlling in terms of, what his opponent was doing, how he was keeping his health and armor up. But things are going to completely go back. We're resetting. It's on to Deep Embrace now. And, what do you think about this one going into this, especially with the game win by vengeurR?
I mean, I have no idea. All honesty, we've seen so many different variations of the way this could be played, and now we've got another variation thrown in with the Anarchy, which we just haven't seen whatsoever. So, yeah, we will see. I think it was RAISY's pick anyway, so I would expect him to have a bit more of a game plan than vengeurR, but both of these guys grind this game like there's no tomorrow, so they will have their own play styles and thoughts on the way this game should be played. It's not a bad start, though.
Not a bad start at all, as RAISY gets some real nice LG damage against his opponent. Will also pick up that Mega. Gonna go in. Diorb comes out. Will it be his demise? He's down to 25 points of health. The machine gun fire was laying into him, but he grabs the 225s and takes the damage, but still manages to get out on his own. So we're gonna head on over because Heavy's gonna be coming up next. And missed the rail, followed up with the MG, and vengeurR on the board with 1.
Yeah, focusing on doing maximum damage over in this mega area. You're so vulnerable on this mega pickup. It is a perfect trap for someone that wants to play super positional like a vengeurR.
Yeah, and right now, trying to keep that rail out of his opponent's hand is going to be something I think we'll see vengeurR do his best to do. And it won't matter because we're going to see RAISY go in with the LG, and that was pretty effective. But that rail coming out by vengeurR, rail versus LG yet again, and vengeurR grabs it with just a few points of health remaining. Crazy.
We have seen some big scoring games on this map, and I would expect something similar here. They're both playing with a very high tempo. vengeurR putting more emphasis on playing the rail game at the moment. But that's because RAISY also hasn't got himself onto the board at all.
Yeah, there he finally has got it. Let's see how that's going to change him up a little. So both players kind of like about equal on their stacks, give or take. There we see RAISY finally pick up that heavy. Oh, unfortunate. So he gives him a big old dire orb sandwich, and he's on the board 1-2. Now let's see how he can see if he can convert some of these frags. He's really just not able to do much of anything there. There finally does hit a nice rail. It's going to jump up to the heavy, and the LG comes.
Oh, no! Yeah, this has a real old school reference here of error walks feeling to the way it plays. You can play very tactful, there's plenty of corners and routes to go to maximize the rocket damage and spam, and then you also have, for those adept at it, a rail game to fall back on as well.
Yeah, I mean, the rail game has been a little bit more about control. RAISY definitely getting the LG award here on this particular map. Oh, he manages to dodge the second rocket, but vengeurR will come out on top of that with another frag, 1-3. And RAISY, you know, I mean, I'm trying to kind of decipher some of their style a little bit here on this map, right? We've seen the like play from the middle and use that rail. I kind of like some of the low ground LG plays that we're seeing, right? Wait for opponent to come into a room that they're not expecting them to be in and get a lot of damage off that way. So we are seeing, I would say, some variation on kind of how we've seen Deep Embrace played here in the previous couple of weeks, and you know, pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, no, everyone's finding their own styles. It takes a while to work out what works for you on this map, and it obviously varies. Then you're experiencing how different people play it. You might not have practiced them on this map yet. So we really get to see innovation during this time.
Yeah, and I really do enjoy that. You mentioned high-scoring games, and we have seen some very high-scoring games here on Deep Embrace. And I'd say things haven't slowed down; they've just kind of equalized a little bit here, as I feel like both players kind of feeling each other out, watching for routes, etc. I don't know if how. I'd love to know how much they have played against each other on this particular map. I'd almost guess maybe not that much, but I hope we'll get an opportunity to ask one of them here. vengeurR very, very low. He is up by 3 frags. Is going to manage to get the 2 25s there in the middle. Will find himself some comfort. Waiting for a rail on top of that mega. Misses both of those. And his rail just not really performing, I think, the way he would like it to. But neither player really riding on their rail right now.
Yeah, I think the Anarchy pick's very interesting as well. It fits the map somewhat, and I think one of the main bonuses, in my opinion, is the use of the inject. You obviously a lot of combat, so that has a value in there, and the mega itself is the most vulnerable of the 2 major items. And so if you could avoid picking it up and have an inject instead, then it gives you the time to hold this position. We see vengeurR loving to do so here, and only take the mega if it's completely safe.
vengeurR not really having much luck there in the area where you normally hold with the rail, trying to hit what he can with that, but that was having better luck with that LG than he was with the rail gun. vengeurR backing off just a little bit as RAISY has the better stack, and he knows it. Once again, RAISY coming around the corner, and a nice cleanup with the shotgun after issuing a lot of LG damage against him. RAISY now back on the board, a 2-frag game. Oh, beautiful air rocket coming up that jump pad. Make that a 3-frag game yet again.
Okay. it's got a bit chaotic now, but it feels that Wenger definitely has a better grasp positionally on this map. He feels like he's controlling that high ground better than RAISY, whereas RAISY's been relegated to the low ground. But as I say, that he picked up a couple of frags in quick succession, and now has time to stamp his authority, picking up that heavy. If he can get across this Mega as well, he's in really good stead.
I'm not sure that Wenger should have taken that last fight. In fact, it's been a complete momentum shift. I think maybe he thought that RAISY was a little bit lower.
Oh, wow.
The orb bait into the rail to take the lead 6-5 now. And now RAISY kind of feels like he's coming online a little bit.
Yeah.
I definitely like what I'm seeing here. Heavy is up. Wenger is going to have to give that one up, and I think that was a smart move. He is down by 1 now, and he has got to kind of rethink how he is going to approach this one. RAISY definitely played patient, and there was a lot of chaos that happened there that followed it, or that ended up in that dire orb, and Wenger getting away with 5 points of health. Like, this game's pretty insane.
Yeah, and as you were saying, that a messy engagement does settle them back to an even keel. But no, you're completely right in the way that's been played out so far, as Wenger catches him up on the stairwell with the lightning gun, but he does sneak himself away. Wenger living a bit precariously down on the low ground now. RAISY is king of the jungle up here.
Oh, nice rail, fall away rail. It is a lot of just like, do damage, fight, go heal. Do damage, fight, go heal. And that's okay. It's given us a lot of action. And watching these players, they have such a good amount of information, a level. Hearing that jump pad go up, a beautiful rocket coming out by RAISY. That's going to score a direct hit. And now the LG going to dire orb his way over, following up with the LG yet again, and making that lead a little bit wider, 7-5. RAISY is definitely kind of finding his groove here. He's noticing some of the ways that Wenger is playing. And, they've got the term being downloaded, and I kind of feel that's exactly what RAISY has done here. And Wenger needs to mix it up. I mean, he's down to the clock. The wire is 1. Oh.
No, I mean, I was about to say the same thing. It felt like, in a weird way, this was like a wrestling match. And for a lot of it, Wenger was pinning RAISY down, but RAISY was just assessing his options and looking how to get out of that grapple. And now he's done so. He's just got his foot on Wenger's throat. And every time Wenger twists and turns, he can't get out. But this time, hitting a couple of good crucial rails, will set in perfect stead for a comeback with 1 minute to go.
And this is where Anarchy, really might benefit a little bit here. Is he going to try to keep that rail away? LG, well, he's got the LG. Heavy is up now. The 1 minute warning sounds, and 2 frags. So the burden of proof is here on Wenger, as, Rocket jumping up to the top and getting hit with some LG, almost to give it a little bit of help, but not the assistance that he wanted. That is going to not be great for Wenger, because he needs to restack before he can even consider going at it again. And injecting in the middle of a battle, and wow.
Okay.
3 points of help. He pulled it off.
He hasn't got an inject though, so he's got to work his way around to pick up as much health as he can before he finds one more engagement. RAISY's healthy, he's got the Mega, and he just wants to stand out in the open and say, if you want to come fight, fight. Oh no, he's been caught from behind. What the hell? What?
Oh my gosh, I didn't see, but I believe he was out of rockets at that point. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and see that one on the replay, but RAISY pulls it out. I mean, what a back and forth game. Wenger there in that last minute getting that frag that I thought was going to be able to bring him back, but RAISY just holds on to it, plays very solid. Looking at these two, really close damage actually on the LG, but impressive play on both sides. I'm so curious to find out if those two had practiced on Deep Embrace beforehand.
Yeah, and you can see they both had their own strategies. RAISY very much using that orb to close the gap whenever Wenger showed himself and was slightly vulnerable. Every time RAISY was using it, popping it and chasing him down. Whereas Wenger using that inject creatively, putting pressure on any sort of mega pickup. So I would imagine they would have practiced, but it's a good question to ask, because it did feel like they understood the way they both wanted to play. When RAISY had control, he was sneaking around and dropping and always finding a shot. So either way, it was a refreshing and different look at this map. Slightly faster than we saw earlier with obviously Base and Kilson as well.
I'm still so curious as to what happened in that last engagement. RAISY looked like his back was turned, that there was a great opportunity for vengeurR to pull it out. I'm not sure if that was an ammo situation or what. I wasn't on top of that one, but some great back and forth. I completely agree. Using the orb in a really interesting way, not only close the gap, but also zone his opponent just a little bit. And, just some really interesting play. I think a lot of people will be watching this one just to be thinking about different ways to approach Deep Embrace. And so I think it's coming up here, right over here. There we see from RAISY's point of view. He turns around and just all of a sudden vengeur's there. Yeah. Oh, that I had the same face, vengeurR. Don't worry.
It's like one of those ones where it's almost too easy. So you take your mind switched off for half a second, and then before you know it, RAISY's realize what's going on, and you're dead.
Wow,
super unfortunate, but as close a game as they could have given us, and you can see the damage quite heavily favoring RAISY.
Yeah. But we're tied, one game apiece. We're not going to have another 3-0, and we're going into Blood Covenant next, I believe. And wow, I'm just such an interesting game. Had its for the most part, I would say was definitely a fast-paced game, but some really interesting swings that took place there. Some good setups. I'm just curious to see more Deep Embraces as players continue to kind of work that map out.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It can be played in so many different ways: fast-paced, slow-paced, strategical. It favors all types of people, whether you've got a combat, like defensive, rocket-heavy game, or you want to play super aggro with lightning gun, rail. It has all sorts of flavors to it. So it's a well-designed map.
I mean, it's wild just to think about the difference between that map and then the Kilson base,
exactly,
Deep
right?
Embrace, completely different. And so we're going to be moving on to Blood Covenant now. RAISY going to be playing as Slash and vengeurR as Nyx. Now you guys were commenting a little bit on this before, and based off of our champ picks, what do you think about Blood Covenant? Who could pull it out here?
A light versus light is always interesting matchup. I feel that Nyx can be put under a lot of pressure. Just the speed of Slash capitalize upon her inherent weakness of not having a Ghost Walker when a Ghost Walk's not up. Just it's relentless. But at the same time, if you have as strong a defensive capability as vengeurR has, and you can use the res effectively, and then the repositioning with the Nyx and the double jump, it's incredibly even. I generally favor Slash, just because as soon as Ghost walks down, you have to run for your life for 30 seconds.
Right. Well, here it is. We're not going to have a 3-0 for our final featured matchup. One of these players is going to walk away with a 2-1 victory, and it's going to be decided here on Blood Covenant. We're following RAISY, who picked up the victory on the last map, Deep Embrace. And already a couple of nice rails coming out here by vengeurR. That's going to force RAISY out. No rail gun for him. He's fine with that, as he just slides around here down under the columns.
One point of note, though, is I can't really remember when I've seen RAISY play Slash. Now I'm thinking about it. Definitely seen vengeurR play that champion, but not a lot of RAISY. And I mean, if there's someone who's going to grind out and perfect a champion, it's going to be RAISY. So I imagine he's very adept with it.
I mean, just based off movement so far, he at least appears to be very comfortable. Is waiting now, baiting out that rocket. Does manage to miss the rail as well. I'm not sure exactly what he's going to wait for, but He's going to drop down for the light.
So long as you get that basic stack with a light champion, it doesn't really matter too much if your opponent gets both major items, because a single rail will then equal the stacks up. So that's the vulnerability.
Yeah, RAISY just kind of turning down the tempo a little bit. Going to rely on that rail. Oh, coming out with the LG. He had an opportunity. vengeurR is on top. He surprised him there for a split second, but just that little bit of extra armor helped him out there. vengeurR now in the lead, 1-0. It was unfortunate there for RAISY. Had a perfect standing still rail op, but it didn't work out for him.
Yeah, and didn't hit anywhere near as much as he would have hoped to either, as vengeurR comes out on top with that brute aim duel.
Yeah. And gonna switch here. vengeurR watching both players back and forth. vengeurR now after that frag, kind of having run of the map, Dan. Just picked up the heavy. It's gonna have control over the mega as well, and makes for, you know, a kind of interesting game now, as RAISY's just been content being on the rail ledge most of this game. Nice rocket. I mean, has vengeurR even popped a ghost walk yet? I don't.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
But no, your point is, yeah, there we go. There's a ghost walk. But yeah, it's a little bit confusing why RAISY's being as passive as he is. I can see respect, but I think you'd be want to using that crouch sliding to get in position to at least try some rails earlier than he is. Don't ghost walk those. It will be a frag up the jump pad. And
yeah,
now
I mean, they're
speed. Sorry.
only a couple of exits right there, but I'm not sure that was the best exit to take. And another one followed up. RAISY going to make it 2-1, and here's your answer, right? Complete, comfortable, playing a little bit passive until you have some control, and then bringing it back into one's favor is kind of the game that RAISY's playing. And I just suspect he knew he had the mega and the heavy, so was waiting for an opportunity to hit a rail or, you know, some great LG that we've been seeing so far. And RAISY, you know, really turning it up now. So, you know, we'll see. Up the jump pad comes his opponent right past him, and is going to fall down below. He didn't. He went right past him with that ghost walk and popped up behind him. Used the opportunity. Great LG damage, and we're tied again, 2-2.
Yeah, RAISY just not realizing that happened, and it was just too late. So super creative play. I'm a big fan of using it aggressively. I think some people can be far too passive with the use of that ability, but that's the ideal time.
Yeah. And now tied, I'm curious to see if RAISY is going to, you know, again, go back to a bit more passive. Kind of expect him to be just all over the place. But as you mentioned, a lot of respect here between these two players. Is going to go up that jump pad. And does get the mega, comes around the corner, sees his opponent drop that ghost walk. And rightfully so. I'd be scared of RAISY's LG as well.
Good timing. He's got a rotation on the light and both major items now, and you can see the trouble. The speed will come out here, and vengeurR's just going to have to run until he gets that ghost walk back.
Yeah. RAISY now heading on over to the mega side. Some more LG coming out this time from vengeurR. Does manage to pop a rail. RAISY following up with a rail of his own. vengeurR now hurting a little bit, and he's going to make his way. We might have a fight here at heavy. It's coming out. And nail gun to the LG. Heavy is up. There's the rail for the frag. RAISY takes the lead 3-2. Nicely played.
No, he didn't connect. Only a 4 damage super shotgun. Aggressive play by vengeurR, but trusting himself. Knew he'd done enough damage. My voice, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, that was unfortunate. That could have been yet another one for him. But RAISY now 34 points of health. And down below does grab the light. Is down to just 28 points of health now. Will make his way back up to the top here. And tie game 3-3. I you know, kind of expected a close game. Things have been speeding up and then slowing down and then spinning back up again. But with 4 minutes left to go, RAISY dropped down. Oh, had a rail opportunity, did not take that one. Just going to head back over to the heavy. Missing 2 rails there.
RAISY's been a little bit sloppy on the items. He's given vengeurR some free pickups, particularly when RAISY was in a better stack position to make a move on them. Definitely needs to watch out on that, as you cannot afford to be giving someone of vengeur's quality these type of lifelines.
Yeah, he does manage to finally hit a rail there. I think he's going to commit to a fight here at the heavy. And he will, and he needs it. There it is. Does get hit with the rail, though. It's vengeurR using the aerial advantage very nicely. Now fight over at Mega. No, RAISY there just a little bit too late. He goes for it, gets tagged by the LG, and is going to see if he has a rail opportunity.
It's risky.
Here's very risky, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be sticking around there, but at least he delayed enough to get onto this heavy. But no, vengeur's already there, and RAISY misses out once again. vengeurR doing a much better job at controlling the items just now.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he's going to ghost walk right into the Mega Room. Again, surprises his opponent. A couple nice rockets do come out from RAISY. And he's on the lower level. vengeurR up top, waiting for him to come through that teleporter. Is not going to do it.
He's a lucky boy. That opening rocket just didn't connect.
Oh, huge rocket coming down just as he goes for that heavy. And there's the rail from the top. The patience from vengeurR also not just wanting to go down. And he gets railed off of the top, dropped down below. A little worried for him. He's going to grab that heavy, does slide all the way over, or to grab that light and slides all the way over to the heavy. He might have bridge advantage here as this heavy spawns, but I don't know if he knows when it is.
He does now, and up until now, vengeur's been the one with bridge advantage, so it's vitally important that RAISY doesn't relinquish this.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier how he kind of laxed a little bit, and he seems to definitely be on top of it. He's grabbed both of the items, and now he is just flying around looking for his opponent, finds him over on the middle side, and he pops that ghost walk. He's going to continue to control these items, but it's got to be keeping an eye on that clock.
Yeah, it is only a 1-frag game, obviously, but now you have the problem of the ghost walk. It is not up for 10 seconds, so now is the opportunity. With vengeurR hits another rail, he's dead, but no, the rockets are good. It's a tight game, 4-4, and he gets a perfect spawn. Oh!
2 points of health. He runs away. There's a 25 there, but he's got to be careful at any moment. vengeurR able to just pop a little bit of damage, and he manages to get away. He's starting to put things back together. 77 health now, as you know, he's got the Mega still, and his opponent comes up the jump pad. A little LG does come out. Ghost walk is popped, and we may be going into overtime here. Oh, oh my God!
What?
Oh my God! I cannot believe it. 2 beautiful rockets popped up in the air in the shotgun.
No
Did
way.
RAISY do it? That's insane!
No way.
Oh my gosh. What a match. Unbelievable. I just want to watch that over and over again. I thought that, I mean, you know, we saw the outline of vengeurR through RAISY's point of view, expecting him to come through, but the opposite happens, and vengeurR is popped up into the corner. A beautiful shotgun to finish it off, followed up with the additional frag. What an end. That's insane.
And unfortunately, vengeurR is going to lose here, but let's bring in the real loser, Jackie. Once again, failing at predictions, failing at life, failing at casting. Why are you here?
I mean, there was very possibly going to be a 2-1 there, Dan. And then much like your career, you would have been wrong not only when it comes to finding frags, but also getting your predictions right. But I'll give you this one. You were correct. You did get it right. But that final frag, man, God, that took it out of me. I feel for you too. It must have nearly given you a heart attack to take it to that region. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it went from 0 to 60 so quickly. Like they were both playing very calculated for 9.5 minutes, and all of a sudden we see 2 frags, 3 frags almost instantaneously. And I mean, our hearts run out. I can imagine Wenger having no ghost walk, standing in a corner, just hoping he doesn't get spotted, and he fortunately did.
I mean, I thought from that position, he was kind of expecting it, was going to get a pop, maybe even off the bridge. But like the worst case scenario happened there. And we're watching the highlights from this matchup. If you've just joined us, you're about to see a crazy frag to end the game. But yeah, I mean, I kind of hope we might get a Wenger face cam when that happens, because that one would have had my head shaken a little bit here. But what an interesting matchup between these two for the final map.
It always is. I think that's the key takeaway. Every time we see them play, it's so exciting to watch. And honestly, I thought Wenger had it in the bag. There was a couple of instances where it seemed like he was going to get a commanding lead on both of these games, really towards the bitter end, and walk away with the win. Yeah, it must have been crushing for him. It really must have been, with that final frag just getting snatched away, essentially.
Yeah. Like, I felt that Wenger played probably the slightly crisper and cleaner game. But it just shows again, as soon as that ghost walk's not up, you're a bit of a chicken just running around the map hoping you don't get caught. And Slash is the one champion that will be running at you and catching you. And RAISY played it perfectly.
Oh, absolutely, man. God, it is always exciting to watch. Obviously, that's the big aspect that goes into RAISY taking on Wenger every time, is the fact that they're under the same banner. They both represent Maestro. They are pretty much sparring partners, and it is a unique instance every time we get to see this game. And as per usual, it lives up to the hype. It was a bit of a blockbuster, really going down to the wire each and every time. I think the big takeaway for me, though, has got to be Deep Embrace. That was a hell of a game.
Yeah. Definitely good. And I think we're going to get a chance to talk to our winner. And I'm definitely curious to chat a little bit about, Deep Embrace and how that game played out between those two. What we saw was great. I certainly enjoyed that series from, map 1 into Deep Embrace. And then that Blood Covenant end was certainly a treat. So congrats goes out to RAISY.
Yeah, and we've got him here with us as well. You're absolutely right. We can bring him on in and start a little interview with the main man himself, RAISY. Walking away with the victory, we get our chance to pick his brains a little bit. How you doing, RAISY?
Hello, I'm alright, thank you.
Good, man. It's good to have you back. I think we'll come in straight with a hard-hitting one. Deep Embrace looked crazy. From my perspective, I just wanted to know, how much have you actually played it? How much have you been able to prac on it?
I played that map quite a lot, actually. I really like it. I am still clumsy when it comes to the movement on that map, but I enjoy it.
Have you had a chance to play it all with Wenger on that map prior to this matchup, or no?
No, actually, I can't remember the last time I played against Wenger. Probably at QuakeCon. Okay. So, I'm curious? Was there a little bit of feeling one another out in that particular map on Deep Embrace? Like, it seemed like the map and sort of the pace of the game was changing throughout the 10 minutes. Well, when it comes to playing against Wenger, I never know what to expect, because whenever I throw something at him, he figures it out, turns it back around, and comes my way. So it's really difficult to figure him out. And even when I feel like I am figuring him out and I have a good start, he just makes a comeback, and then, I have to do something else to make up for it.
Have you been playing a lot of Slash? It's not a champion we associate with you very much. Is it something you just want to add to your selection now?
It's a new thing that I'm kind of testing right now.
All right, easy.
Yeah. Oh, man. I did wonder as well, obviously, still in the veto every time. It feels like it's always getting target banned. Are we ever going to actually get to see you back on Clash, or is it just forever going to be permanently banned at this point?
Clutch, you mean?
Sorry, my bad. Yeah. It's been a long day. I had to deal with Dan. It's all gone wrong.
I feel like lately I haven't really been playing him to his full potential, so maybe a little bit of practice, and then after that I'll pick him again.
You are still ranked number 1 in the EU CAS region after that particular matchup. How are you just feeling overall about, season 2? We're in the first stage, week 6. A lot of players, kind of sorting them out. We have a couple of new players that have come in from the challenger side of things. But RAISY, how are you feeling overall here as we're close to hitting the midpoint of stage 1?
I'm actually surprised that I'm so high up on the list, because lately I haven't really been playing well enough, in my opinion, at least to what I would expect from myself. And I've lost Alec, I've lost to Cypher, so I'm actually surprised, but I'm glad nonetheless.
How have you found the standard of the scene as a whole, having developed over from season 1 to season 2? Do you think everyone's taken a big step up?
I have noticed a few people definitely improving throughout the QPL, and also the latest changes to the game made some ranking differences, I guess, because people need to adapt, and some people are quicker, some people need to take their time, and then eventually we'll see, once everyone's figured everything out about the game, what it's gonna be ranking wise.
All right, well, beautiful stuff. RAISY, thanks again for coming on and obviously
Congrats.
being able to let us pick your brains a little bit off the back of that win, mate. Before we let you go, any final thoughts, any words you want to say in support there of the fans that have come out tonight?
Yeah, thank you very much, and I appreciate all the support. Thank you.
Awesome. Cheers. Thank you, RAISY. Enjoy the rest of your evening, mate. Well played, brother.
Well played.
Nailed it. He came out strong. He looks good. I might have been wrong on the predictions, but at least I got to enjoy the spectacle, boys.
I do like what he said about having to adjust to vengeurR, because exactly how he explained it is how game 1 played out. Yeah. Right. He was holding out in that control. Then all of a sudden vengeurR comes out, changes it up. You can't close the book on that one. It's great to see. You could tell those two players respect one another intensely. So well done.
That's what the best players do, right? There's a lot of players out there who are great when everything's on there going their way, but then if it doesn't, that'll just crumble. Whereas the best players find a way to come back and adapt and make your life a misery, even though you were just on top.
Yeah. No, it's surprising to hear from him as well, obviously, that they haven't actually been practicing against one another too much. I thought that would have been one of the staples in terms of them two dueling one another more regularly for practice. With that being the first time they've met up since QuakeCon, that actually gives a lot more weight to that series as well, which is quite interesting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely explains the game we saw in Deep Embrace, and it was great, but it looked like like I'm figuring out my opponent, I'm trying this, I'm figuring out, and I like that, right? We don't see that so often on maps that we have been seeing for several years, or maybe many years, and I think that's one of the excitement that new maps bring to QPL. So I'll be excited to see how that will be playing out.
Oh, definitely. It keeps it fresh, right? And it keeps the scene moving and improving. And there has been some movement based off the wins we've seen today. And we can see how that reflects the overall standings. We can move on into them and see, because of course, there's got to be some shake-ups. Today's been pretty wild. There's been a lot of 3-0s. That's a lot of points being given out.
Oh, Chain moves up. I mean, we did have a week off for Rafa and Dahang, but he's still number 1, which is a nice thing to see. And he's actually now played the same amount as Dahang and lost less maps. So credit to him. And good to see Nostra up there as well.
Yeah, that's really impressive. Only one map loss there, and that's good. I mean, to RAISY's point, he's definitely seen players step up, and I agree with him. I've seen it too.
We have indeed. Of course, that is the North American standings. We do have the EU standings to take a look at. Dan, stop giggling in school.
Sorry, I was just itching my back with a ruler as we cut scenes.
We both got caught just moving just slightly.
That's incredible. That was incredible. But as opposed to the American scene, we have a lot of chaos in the EU scene. You can see how equal everyone is on this playing field now. No one coming out with a 1 or 0 map loss. Everyone's dropping maps left, right, and center. So it's pretty good. Avec obviously having a couple of weeks off, but it's been looking really, really strong. And I'm favoring him to push up the ranks. And obviously now we have Cooler, 2 and 10 in terms of maps. That is pretty dire. Tox as well, also not performing that well. So both of those players have a big bird on their shoulders to move forward.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, it just goes to show as you get older, you don't always have those same sharp skills that you once had. You know, just some lightning fast and some good eye-hand it doesn't always work out. It sucks to get old, let me tell you. But it's unfortunate, right? Two legends of Quake, legends that I love to see, but also just goes to show there's a lot of folks out there who are putting in the time, who are saying to themselves, listen, I don't care if you've played Quake for 15 years. Like, I deserve to be here. I have the skills. I'm going to develop a style of my own. And it is kind of exciting to see, you know, is this going to be a season of the official changing of the guard based off those results? That's certainly possible.
I mean, and to your point, like, it's actually not even their mechanical skill that's the limiting factor, right? Like, it's Tox. It's everything else in the package. It's the strategy that goes into it, which is really impressive. Seeing these people that have less experience coming through and being the more experienced players in the playground. But as the more changes there are to the game, the newer the maps, then the more they're going to struggle, because these guys coming through now are the new reigning kings.
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing, right? Much like Wu-Tang, Quake is forever, but the kings cannot always rule. There is going to be some new upcomers coming in towards the end, and that's what we're starting to see. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing any more Quake action tonight. We are done for today's broadcast. Before we shut this one down, boys, any final thoughts to wrap us up, Dan?
Yeah, I was right and you were wrong again. We saw lots of 3-0s, and anyone that missed it, go back and watch Effortless versus Cygib.
I'm gonna directly talk to the hottie 1 2 3 4 in chat. 33 is hardly old. You're right. But when it comes to FPS, 33 is old, man. No, I'm just kidding. It's great to see that we've got this huge wide array of talent out there. I believe that the Challengers is firing up here really soon. And I do want to encourage anyone who's been thinking about taking their shot to take your shot. We saw the rankings there, and CNZ, a player that came from the Challengers, fought his way through in the Quake World Championships and is now battling it out and sitting actually tied, I believe, or very close to the top spot with RAISY. So give it your shot. I'm hoping to see some new folks and new talent emerge, but excited to be here, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, awesome stuff. There you go. Thank you, Wick, popping by, mate. It was an absolute pleasure. Dan, always a pleasure, never a chore, apart from when I have to speak to you, which is every day. Other than that, of course, thank you so much, Bethesda and PGL, for making this entirely possible. It's been a great time to come back into it, and I've had a fabulous day. I hope all of our amazing viewers have. We will be back same time next week. Be here for week 7 as the competition is looking fierce.